Have you ever thought that all the riches on Earth, from the gold reserves of central banks to the oil fields of the Middle East, to the piles of money of Forbes billionaires, are just small change compared to the one lump of rock floating above our heads right now? There's an asteroid called 16 Psyche, a metal behemoth that, if successfully pulled to Earth, would be worth enough to make every person on the planet an instant trillionaire. We're talking about a number so large our brains can't even process it. $10 quadrillion. But if that treasure is right in front of us, why are we still busy digging up the earth and destroying forests for the sake of gold that's dwindling? Are we simply incapable? Or is there some terrible secret that makes scientists afraid to bring this space treasure home? Since ancient times, human civilization has been built on one fundamental principle: scarcity. We value gold, platinum, and nickel because they are limited. On Earth, gold is the result of a neutron star collision billions of years ago, the remains of which are trapped deep within the Earth's core. We can only extract the tiny remnants found in the Earth's crust. However, out there, in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, this law of scarcity seems to defy all expectations. There, precious metals are no longer rare, but essential building blocks for millions of space rocks. Scientists have long observed that asteroids are more than just space junk. They are time capsules from the early formation of the solar system. Some asteroids, known as M-type asteroids, are composed almost entirely of iron and nickel, with gold and platinum deposits thousands of times more concentrated than the richest mines on Earth. Humanity's ambition to mine asteroids stems not from mere greed, but from urgent need. It is estimated that by 2050, Earth's reserves of strategic metals will reach a critical point. Without new supplies, our technological revolution, from smartphones to electric vehicle batteries to supercomputers, will come to a grinding halt. This is what sparked a new arms race, the space mining race. From Silicon Valley startups to major space agencies, they are shifting their gaze from the moon to asteroids. They no longer see the sky as the limit, but rather as a limitless logistics warehouse. However, there is a lingering economic paradox. If gold suddenly became as abundant as sand on a beach, would it still have any value? If this galactic treasure were brought home, it could destroy the world's economic order overnight. Dreams of mining asteroids often run up against the reality of our still primitive technology. Mining on Earth is difficult enough, let alone mining on an object traveling at thousands of kilometers per hour in zero gravity. You can't just land and dig. Without gravity, every time you try to hit a rock with heavy equipment, Newton's laws will kick in. The equipment will just bounce and throw you back into the void. The solutions engineers are developing are futuristic. They are designing robots equipped with magnetic anchor systems or giant drills that could latch onto the asteroid's surface. There's also the idea of enclosing the entire asteroid in a giant bag to capture the metal dust that falls out during the extraction process. The next problem is energy. How would the metal be processed? Bringing millions of tons of raw rock back to Earth would be a tremendous waste of fuel. A more plausible idea is to process it directly in space, using giant mirrors to concentrate sunlight and melt the metal. However, the biggest obstacle remains cost. Sending a single kilogram of cargo into Earth's orbit still costs thousands of dollars. Even though companies like SpaceX have managed to lower launch costs, the investment for an asteroid mining mission still runs into the billions of dollars, with a nearly 100% risk of failure. It's the biggest gamble in human history. If you succeed, you become a new economic power. If you fail, you'll just contribute to a pile of iron scrap floating eternally in orbit. That's why, to this day, space mining is still considered a side project compared to the more tangible and immediate extraction of natural resources. As our ambitions soar to the asteroid belt, a harsh reality is unfolding on Earth's surface. Ironically, the push for green technologies, like electric cars and solar panels, is fueling the massive extraction of rare earth minerals in developing countries. Because space mining technology isn't yet commercially ready, the pressure to meet the world's metal needs is being placed entirely on fragile rainforest ecosystems and coastal areas. We face a profound moral dilemma: destroying the Earth today to save the future through uncertain technologies. The main problem is the proliferation of illegal and unregulated mining operations around the world. Without strict environmental standards, tropical forests, the world's lungs, are being destroyed for the quick extraction of nickel, cobalt, or gold. This practice often involves the use of toxic chemicals like mercury, which pollute transnational rivers, destroy biodiversity, and threaten the health of millions of people. Globally, this creates massive economic losses due to ecosystem damage, the value of which far exceeds the profits from the metals obtained. The profits from this exploitation often flow to a handful of corporations or illegal groups, while the damage is permanent. If we can't manage our own resources wisely, what guarantee is there that we will be more responsible when managing asteroids in the future? Before we aspire to become an interplanetary species, we have a moral responsibility to ensure that every gram of metal used for our current technological advancements leaves no trace of destruction for future generations on Earth. In the future, the question will no longer be, can we mine asteroids, but who owns them? Internationally, through the 1967 Outer Space Treaty, outer space was declared the common heritage of humanity. However, geopolitical realities dictate otherwise. Major powers are beginning to draft domestic laws allowing private companies to own and sell resources extracted from space. This is the beginning of a new era of colonialism, where borders are no longer drawn on maps of the Earth, but in the planet's orbits. This competition creates the risk of new conflicts. If a nation or company manages to monopolize access to metal-rich asteroids, they will have enough economic power to dictate world policy. The gap between technologically rich and developing nations will widen. We may see the emergence of history's first trillion-dollar billionaires, whose wealth is no longer tied to any single nation's GDP, but rather to mineral reserves beyond our atmosphere. However, asteroids may offer infinite riches, but they do not offer life. No matter how much platinum or gold we bring home, planet Earth remains the only place that supports life. Mining asteroids should be a solution to stop environmental destruction on Earth, not simply an escape from our failure to manage the planet. We must learn that in the vastness of the universe, the scarcest resource is not precious metals, but a habitable planet. The future of humanity depends on our ability to balance ambitions in the stars with responsibilities on Earth. So, do you think we should be reckless and soar to the skies for $10 quadrillion, or should we first fix our mining methods on Earth to prevent further damage? One thing is for sure, the gold in asteroids won't go anywhere, but our forests and rivers could disappear if we continue to be greedy. Stay critical. Keep an eye on technological developments. And don't forget that true wealth is when we can live in prosperity without destroying our own homes.